The D-backs take on the Rockies 3:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The Rockies are the $1.18 favorite. Totals 11.5 juice to the over. The D-backs are catching even money to win it. We got Luke Weaver for Arizona, Antonio Sensatella for the Rockies. I'm 7-3 in my last 10 MLB tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. I'm also 7-3 in my last 10 board member tier package plays on that site as well. For more information on how you can access these premium selections, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Weaver's 0-3 on the year with a 12.19 ERA. The D-backs are in last place in the NL West, and they rank in the bottom 10 in Major League Baseball in scoring. They've lost 7 out of their last 11 on the road, and they rank in the bottom 5 in runs allowed. They're taking on a Rockies team who they've got Antonio Sensatella on the bump. He's 3-0 with a 2.65 ERA and 14 strikeouts. The Rockies have won 4 out of their last 6, including an 8-7 victory over these very Diamondbacks. The Rockies are in the top 3 in scoring, top 3 in hits. Charlie Blackmon's batting .500. And no, you're not mishearing me. Charlie's currently 34 for 68 at the plate with 3 homers, 6 doubles, and 20 RBI. Trevor Story's also blasted 6 bombs on the season as well. The Rockies also rank in the top 10 in runs allowed, and they lead the big leagues in wins. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Colorado's last 9 games at home stayed under the posted total. Meanwhile, the D-backs saw 3 out of their last 6 stay under 11.5 runs themselves. Give me the Rockies winning this one outright and the under 11.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just going to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Wednesday's MLB baseball action. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. The weekend is right around the corner. Hopefully you guys are having a great week thus far. Now, before we dive into some more free content here, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are currently 7-3 in our last 10 MLB tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also 7-3 in our last 10 board member tier package plays on that site as well. If you want some more information on how you can join in on the action, a link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Moving on, we're going to take a look at the A's taking on the Angels, 4:10 p.m. Eastern start time. The Angels are the $1.15 favorite. Totals 9.5 juice to the under. The A's are the -105 underdog. We got Chris Bassett for the A's, Griffin Canning for the Angels. Canning's 0-2 on the season, walking 6 batters in under 4 innings in his last start. LA's won just 3 out of their last 7, and they rank in the bottom 10 in runs allowed. The Angels are just a half a game ahead of last place Seattle in the AL West. They're taking on an Oakland squad who's got Chris Bassett on the mound, 1.08 ERA, 15 Ks on the year. The A's have won 9 out of their last 11 ball games and are tied with the Rockies for the most wins in Major League Baseball. Matt Chapman leads the club in hits. He's also slammed 6 homers and has 14 RBI. He ranks in the top 10 in Major League Baseball in both of the latter 2 statistics. Robbie Grossman's also batting .310 with 4 doubles as well. Oakland ranks in the top 5 in offensive walks, top 5 in runs allowed. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Oakland's last 5 stayed under the total of 9.5 runs. 4 out of the Angels' last 6 also stayed under that number. Give me the Underdog Athletics -105 and the under 9.5 in that game. Next contest, Cubs, Indians, 6:10 p.m. East. The Indians are -1.25, total 7.5 juice to the over. The Cubs are +105 to win it. And if you like the Cubbies to keep this one close, they're -200, catching the 1.5 on the run line. We do have Kyle Hendricks on the bump for Chicago, Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. But as good as Carrasco has been, the Indians have actually dropped 4 out of their last 6 games where Carlos made the start, and of course that dates back to last season. Cleveland's in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in hits. They scored just 3 total runs in their last 3 losses. They're taking on Kyle Hendricks on the Cubbies side, who's 2-1 on this season with 15 total strikeouts. Now, Hendricks gave up just 2 runs over 7 innings in his last outing. Now, the Chicago team, they are 11-3 on the season and in first place in the NL Central. They're 4-2 straight up on the road, and they rank in the top 5 in road scoring. Javier Baez leads the club in hits and RBI. He's tied with Jason Hayward in that stat, both with 9 RBI on the year. Ian Happ's also batting .325 with, which is 15th in Major League Baseball in that category as well. The Cubs have won 5 out of their last 6 in Cleveland. And when it comes to the number in this one, 3 out of Chicago's last 4 got over the total of 7.5 runs. The Cubbies are also 67% to the over when traveling this season. Meanwhile, the Indians on the other side saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the 7.5 themselves. Give me the underdog Cubs plus 105 and the under 7.5 in that contest. Next matchup, it is going to be the Atlanta Braves versus the New York Yankees. 7:05 p.m. Eastern start time. The Yankees are the $2 favorite. Total's 9.5 flat. The Braves are plus 160 for an outright win. They're minus $1.25, catching the 1.5. Oscar Inoue is for the Braves. Masahiro Tanaka for the Bombers. The Yankees have dropped 4 out of their last 6, including a 5-4 loss to the Phillies during that span. Now, Tanaka takes the bump for the Yankees. The Yankees dropped 2 out of their last 4 when Tanaka made the start. And, of course, that dates back to last year as well. New York ranks in the bottom 10 in strikeouts at home. They are taking on an Atlanta squad who's won 3 out of their last 6, including an 8-0 shutout over the Phillies. Now, the Atlanta Braves currently rank in the top 3 in scoring, and they are led by Marcell Ozuna, who's pounded 18 hits and 4 homers on the season. Dansby Swanson also leads the club in RBI with 14. Freddie Freeman leads the club with a .373 on-base percentage. And when it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of Atlanta's last 7 stayed under the total of 9.5 runs. Meanwhile, the Yankees saw 5 out of their last 7 stay under the 9.5 themselves. Give me the Braves plus 1.5 and the under 9.5 in that game. Next contest, Giants taking on the Astros, 7:10 p.m. Eastern start time. The Astros are the massive $2.13 favorite. Total's 8.5, juice to the over. The Giants are plus 175 to win it. And if you like the Giants to cover, they're minus $1.18 on the run line. Now, when it comes to the probables in this one, we got Trevor Cahill for San Fran, Zach Greinke for the Stros. And as good as Greinke's been and as good as he is, he's got no wins to show for it thus far in the year. The Stros are 0-3 in Zach's last 3 starts. Houston's in the bottom 10 in runs allowed, bottom 5 in hits allowed. The Astros are coming off a 7-6 loss to these very Giants. They also lost 6 out of their last 7 ball games. They're taking on a Giant squad who won 2 out of their last 4 themselves. And that's going to include a 5-4 victory over the Dodgers during that short span. San Fran is in the top 10 in hits on average per game, top 10 in striking out at the plate, which means they actually don't strike out a whole lot. Donovan Solano is leading the club in hits. He's actually second in the big leagues in batting average, just behind Charlie Blackmon, who's batting .500. But anyway, Don's batting .458 with 15 RBI and 9 doubles. Mike Yastrzemski's also batting .288 with 4 homers and 12 RBI. Wilmer Flores also leads the club with Yastrzemski with 4 homers himself. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, 5 out of San Fran's last 6 ball games got over the total of 8.5 runs. Meanwhile, the Astros saw 6 out of their last 8 at Minute Maid Park get over the posted total themselves. Houston's officially 13-4 to the over for this season, depending on where you're shopping at. A lot of overs for this Houston squad. Give me the Giants plus 1.5 and the over 8.5 in that game. Next contest, it is going to be Rays Red Sox, 7:30 p.m. East. The Rays are $1.60, numbers 9.5 juice to the under. The Sox are plus 135 for an underdog win. And if you like Boston on the run line, they're minus $1.20, catching the 1.5. We got Zach Godley for the Sox, Blake Snell for the Rays. Snell pitched 3 scoreless innings in his last start versus the Yankees. He's got a 3.38 ERA on the year with 14 Ks. The Rays are on a 4-game winning streak, including 2 victories over this Boston squad. They also beat the Yankees twice during that span as well. Tampa's in the top 10 in runs allowed, top 5 in striking batters out. Now, Brandon Lowe currently leads the team in hits and homers. He's batting .276 with 3 bombs. Willie Adams also leads the team in doubles. Tampa's currently in second place in the AL East, just 1.5 games behind the Yankees for that top spot. They are taking on a Boston club who ranks in the bottom 10 in striking out at the plate, really struggling to make contact. They also rank in the bottom 3 in hits allowed. Boston's lost 3 out of their last 4 ball games, including a 2-1 loss to the Blue Jays during that stretch. Zach Godley's 0-1 on the year with an ERA just below 4. Godley has failed to get the W in his last 6 starts dating back to last season. Boston's won just 3 of 10 at Fenway this season. They're also winless in their last 6 straight, hosting the Rays in Boston. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Boston's last 7 stayed under the total of 9.5 runs. Meanwhile, the Rays on the other side saw 9 out of their last dozen stay under the 9.5 themselves. Give me the Rays winning this one straight up and the under 9.5 in that contest. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be the Padres versus the Dodgers, 9:40 p.m. Eastern start time. The Dodgers are minus 160, totals 8.5 juice to the over. The Padres are plus 135 on the money line. They're also minus 150 on the run line. We got Zach Davies for the Pods, Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. LA's lost 3 out of their last 4, including a 6-2 loss to this very Padres club. The Dodgers have won just 4 of 9 at home this season, and they rank in the bottom 10 in striking batters out at home. They are taking on a San Diego Padres organization who's currently on a 3-game winning streak, and they rank in the top 5 in scoring. Zach Davies takes the mound for San Diego tonight. 2-1 on the season, 2.87 ERA, 13 Ks. Fernando Tatis Jr. leads the team in hits and homers. He's batting .333, which is tied for 9th in the big leagues. Tatis has also smashed 8 homers, which is 2nd in the league, along with knocking in 18, which is tied for 3rd in the league in ribbies. Will Myers also launched 5 home runs this season. He's knocked in 12. The Padres are 5-3 on the road, top 10 in road scoring. And when it comes to the total on this one, 4 out of San Diego's last 5 stayed under the total of 8.5 runs. Meanwhile, the Dodgers saw 7 out of their last 9 home games stay under the posted total themselves. They are officially 13-5 to the under on the year. Give me the Padres plus 1.5 and the under 8.5 in that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you decide to sign up for a package here today, just keep in mind we bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But with that said, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.